NTA International News.
President Buhari wants new economic policies to boost domestic manufacturing before 2016 budget. Development partners and ECOWAS to support Nigeria's genetic modification of organisms to improve health and agricultural activities. Over 100 internally displaced persons camped in Benin reunited with their families. Plus, South African entrepreneurs come up with new ways to wash hands. Hello, it's my pleasure to welcome you to NTA International News. I'm Nancy Godi Anoniru. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Ministry of Communication Technology to work harder to fully develop the revenue generation potential of Nigeria's information technology sector. The President gave the directive while receiving briefing from the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Tunji Olaoba. President Buhari also directed the Ministry to bring forward for his consideration and approval all pending proposals for the development of the ICT sector that require the approval of the Federal Executive Council. The President welcomes the plan by the Ministry to use post offices across the country for IT and financial transactions, especially in the rural areas. The President also asked for a comprehensive report on the sale of the Nigerian telecommunications company, NITEL, stressing that he was concerned about the continuing protests of the former NITEL employees and other Nigerians over assets of the company. The Ministry's presentation to the President dwells on the potential of the IT sector, which the Permanent Secretary said contributes 10% of the country's gross domestic product, GDP. And now to gender affairs. Empowering women and eliminating all forms of discrimination have been identified as antidotes to combating poverty, disease, and stimulating the economy. This was the consensus of stakeholders at a one-day agenda-setting forum on the outcome of the African Regional Post-2015 Sustainable Development Goals, organized by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs in Abuja. Fatima Aliyu reports that the forum has the theme, Leave No Women Behind.
The new development framework, SDGs, a set of goals and targets aimed at addressing various human needs, including promoting women's equal access to full participation in economic opportunities, education, and healthcare services. The Sustainable Development Goals will replace the Millennium Development Goals at the end of September 2015. The African Regional High-Level Forum therefore will be formed on the new agenda, which includes 17 goals and 159 targets as agreed by 193 countries in Rio de Janeiro Convention earlier this month.
End poverty in all its forms, ensure healthy lives, and promote well-being for all at all ages.
Access to water and sanitation. Women suffer a lot because they have to provide water for the family. So in a community without sanitation, access to sanitation, then that is a big crisis because nobody can live in dignity without water.
I also wish to encourage the mission of not leave any woman behind, allow the girls to go to school, give them the knowledge of my education.
What plans do we have for the implementations of the SDGs? We don't want to be taking unawares, or we don't want the next 15 years to come here and be telling stories.
The agenda are expected to be adopted by the heads of government at the UN General Assembly in September 2015. In Abuja, Fatima NTA.
And on the African health sectors, development partners, United States and ECOWAS have pledged to support Nigeria in her quest to boost her agricultural activities and healthcare service delivery through genetic modification of organisms. The federal government therefore urged the producers and importers of genetically modified crops to abide by Nigerian environmental and safety laws. Mr. Baba Aliyu has more.
Though Nigeria has developed the National Biosafety Law which permits the adoption of genetically modified technology in her agriculture and healthcare system, Health and Agricultural Research Institutes are yet to key in due to absence of guidelines and regulations for adopting technology.
We already have them drafted, but we want to review them to ensure that they are in conformity with the Act.
To this effect, therefore, development partners including Africa Union are assisting Nigeria to produce the necessary guidelines for socio-economic benefit of the country.
You've opened up the door that leads to a more prosperous Nigeria, where more farms grow more harvests and employ more people.
The federal government has directed that the technology will only be allowed for economic development. As such, producers, importers and marketers are to abide by the existing laws.
Are going to be able to now, modify some of these genetically modified organisms that will help us in food production, try to make sure that the economy grows faster, there's food security and all of that.
The regulations or guidelines are to increase and strengthen the biosafety law to enable Nigeria benefits from the modern technology without compromising the safety of the environment and human health. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
More on health. The Federal Ministry of Health has inaugurated a National Immunization Technical Advisory Committee to consolidate on the gains so far achieved in polio eradication in Nigeria. Justin Ben-Uni reports that the committee is made up of 15 health experts. The report.
The global program for the eradication of polio has faced significant challenges in Nigeria in past years. Amidst these challenges, incredible efforts from the National Polio Eradication Program, with support from the partners of the Global Polio Eradication Initiative, Nigeria has taken a significant step forward as it marked its first year without a single case of polio on July 24th this year, reaching a milestone in the global program on the eradication of the vaccine-preventable disease. But the country still has 2 more years before it can be certified officially polio-free by World Health Organization. Consequently, the Immunization Technical Advisory Committee is poised to put in place an aggressive plan to ensure a polio-free Nigeria by 2017.
We needed such an advisory group to work for the sustainability of the temple that we have, to continue to sustain the gains we've made in polio in such a way that we maintain the zero polio case status of Nigeria.
The chairman of the committee reiterated commitment towards the once and for all elimination of polio in the country.
We have one objective, and it will work very hard to eliminate this deadly virus from our country.
The committee, which has a 3-year tenure, has among other terms of reference to guide and provide evidence-based recommendations for the development of immunization-related national policies and best practices. Justice Ben-Uni, NTA News.
On the legal front, experts in the nation's justice sector have expressed concern over the fate that is likely to befall the justice sector bills that were passed towards the end of the life of the last National Assembly. As a result, the Nigerian Bar Association is coordinating a response of stakeholders to inject new life into the bills for President Muhammadu Buhari to sign into law. Senior Kelwo reports.
The 15 bills being scrutinized by the Nigerian Bar Association stakeholders meeting are part of the 46 passed by the National Assembly on the eve of the end of its tenure. Although the public perception was that the alleged hurried passage tainted the whole process, the then chairman of the Senate Committee on Rules, Senator Ethan Enang, says the National Assembly acted within its rules by adopting what he called special procedure to pass the 46 bills. What he said is important is the process and time of transmission to the President for accent.
Because we normally have a problem of having passed a bill. It takes long for the bills to be transmitted to the President. That is longer than the 30 days.
But the Nigerian Bar Association is more concerned about the quality of the bills and not just presidential accent.
Whether the President can assent, whether they are skilled or not skilled, we'll get to that.
However, there are some stakeholders who still think that the whole process must have to start all over again.
But in the event we discover from our scale, if one can say it, then we have to go over to the drum board, start all over.
If the President vetoes it, which National Assembly will pass it? Is it this new one or the old one?
In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Now, it took Nigeria 17 years from its first draft bill to the adoption of the Freedom of Information and subsequent assent by the former President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, on the 20th of May 2011. The passage of the law is one thing. Turning it into a tool that gives citizens transparency and genuine access to information is now the yearning of Nigerians. Olayinka Ojo completes the story.
Few years ago, the clamor for the passage of Freedom of Information Bill by stakeholders was like a dream that will never come true. Shortly after President Jonathan was sworn in, the dream became a reality. With its importance for public accountability and equal treatment of all people under the rule of law, hence the workshop with the theme Broadening the Horizon of FOIA Desk Officers for Enhanced Compliance.
Everything about you is to be kept in a way that it can easily be accessed.
Director General NYSC Brigadier General Johnson Olaomi reiterating that the Freedom of Information Act empowers members to have reasonable access to information, noted that government is committed to the fight against corruption and promotion of the rule of law, fundamental to good governance.
Whenever anybody calls for information and that information is received, make it open as quickly as possible.
In another development, the six-man committee drawn from the National Orientation Agency, NOA, and the NYSC have presented their report on how to drive value reorientation of doing the right thing, using core members and staff of NOA. Director General NOA, Michael Mary, noted that the report will help in the fight against corruption, indiscipline, and create in Nigeria the self-belief and the potentials of the country.
I see the outcome of it changing the direction of our people that were once headed towards the advent to that prosperity.
Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Enhancing the protection of lives and property by the Nigerian police remains a recurring discourse in the public domain. This was the case on NTA's breakfast show, Good Morning Nigeria, which discussed issues on the 2015 National Security Summit co-organized by the Nigeria Police. John Ozo reports. The 2015 National Security Summit brought to the fore a paradigm shift by the Nigerian Police Force on a people-centered policing. The Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, who was guest on the program, gave an in-depth and insightful analysis on what contemporary policing is all about, emphasizing that this is the new thinking of the Nigerian Police High Command.
In the northeast, we are having issues of the insurgency. In the north central and northwest, we have issues of cattle rustling. When you go to the southwest, you have issues of kidnapping and robbery. Then if you move down south, you have issues of, youth restiveness, proliferation of firearms and all these issues. When you come and situate that against, the numeric strength of the Nigerian police force and the paucity of funds, you will discover that it is time, we start devising strategies that will help us to address in a holistic manner these issues that we are dealing with.
The chairman, Cross River State Council of Traditional Rulers and paramount ruler of Bakassi Local Government, His Royal Majesty Etin Okon Edet, appealed for a clearer synergy between the local government areas and the police to help fight crime and foster peace in the nation. He suggested confidence building by the Nigerian police force in the traditional institutions.
Our colleagues are prepared, but I feel to those who are not prepared to be prepared for this new challenge, for the community policing that we've been looking for a very long time. Police are there to maintain peace, and the role of traditional rulers are to maintain peace. So if we work in collaboration, I think we'll have more peace.
At the summit, the federal government resolved to recruit 10,000 police officers and establish a properly trained and equipped federal anti-terrorism multi-agency task force that would effectively address the challenge of insurgency in a sustainable manner. In Abuja, Joy Izo. This is news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We earlier informed you that President Buhari has directed CBN and Ministries of Finance, Trade and Investment to evolve new economic policies to boost domestic manufacturing before 2016 budget. Still to come, over 100 internally displaced persons camped in Benin reunited with their families. Details in a moment.
NTA International.
This is where the news begins. Every breaking news and development on the African continent.
Welcome to NTA International News. State House correspondent Hamza.
In-depth news analysis and professional perspectives on all sides of the story.
Experts say the issue of
National
security
energy and resources must be mobilized every day on NTA International. We take you inside Africa and the world. NTA International News. Africa as it is.
Thank you for being there. 142 internally displaced persons camped at Nhogwa, Ovie Northeast Council of Area of Edo State, who have been reunited with their families, were at Government House, Benin, where they were hosted by Governor Adams Oshiomhole to bid them farewell. Udwak Obong Achibong has the details.
Out of the 143 children, 49 parents are returning with 112 children to their state. Governor Oshiomhole, who acknowledged the role of the Red Cross in reuniting the children with their parents in camps in the north, reiterated the commitment of the federal government to end Boko Haram insurgency and settle internally displaced persons in their localities.
We have our new Red Cross who will relate to find a battle of the community and the government for people to provide their needs.
Some of the parents shared their joy on reuniting with their children.
I appreciate the governorship with the people that taking care of the children before I come.
We are enjoying to stay here. We are raised here. I don't like to go back again with them. The internally displaced persons were brought into the state in 2013 by a faith-based organization. Governor Oshiomhole has been visiting the camp to ensure that adequate provision is made for the inmates. In Benin, Udwak Obong Achibong, NTA News.
Talking business now, power distribution companies to review fixed electricity charges, plus Angola to limit foreign currency outflows to stabilize its economy. And stocks fall in the Middle East as U.S. oil hits a 6-year low. Details with Stephen also more.
It seems that the days of estimated electricity bills in Nigeria are over, if reports from the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission that the power distribution companies DISCOs have agreed to review fixed power charges in the country is anything to go by. Chairman of the commission, Sam Amadi, says under the new arrangement, consumers will no longer pay for power they did not use. Meanwhile, as part of efforts to stabilize its economy, the Angolan government has made public new policies aimed at restricting the amount of foreign currencies that are being repatriated by foreign investors in the country. Under the new private investment law, foreign firms investing in strategic sectors of the country's economy will also sign up a local partner in order to strengthen the earning economy. And stocks in Saudi Arabia and Egypt took a downturn on Tuesday as U.S. oil fell to its lowest in more than 6 years. Saudi stock index fell by 1.7%, while Egypt's index fell to 7,518 points, a sharp drop from its July low of 7,527 points. Chukunonso Mo, NTA News.
And on a sad note, another bomb detonates in Bangkok, Thailand after the deadly bomb, Monday bomb explosion. As CCTV images of bomber is released, South African entrepreneurs innovate convenient way to wash hands through the mobile hand wash. And search groups in Indonesia find the black box in the crashed aircraft on Sunday. Details with Stacey Leong on Global Tidbits.
Bangkok, Thailand, deterred after a device was thrown from a bridge in a busy area. No death was recorded. The explosion is coming after Monday's attack. Thailand's Prime Minister has described Monday's attack as the worst ever. There has been a clean-up after the deadly attack in which over 20 people lost their lives at the scene of the bomb explosion. In the meantime, footage of the suspected bomber has been released showing the suspect who left his backpack at the shrine where the blast occurred. In Africa, South African entrepreneurs have innovated a convenient way to wash hands away from the conventional soap and water. It is called the mobile hand washer. The development is not unconnected with the fact that soap and clean water is not accessible to people who live in rural areas. In Indonesia, rescue workers on Tuesday reached the crash site of the ill-fated plane. All the 54 bodies on board have been found days after the crash. The plane crashed in the mountainous region of Papua on Sunday, the latest in a string of aviation disasters in the Southeastern Asian axis. Oku, Efayong, NTA News.
Indigenes of Ife in the United States of America have paid tribute to the late Oni of Ife, Oba Okunade Sijuade. Adeyemi Omojola Fatoba reports that the diasporans prayed for the repose of the soul of the late monarch.
They are members of Ife Progressive Union, IPU, in Columbus, Ohio. They are few that took time out of their respective busy schedules for a huge purpose, to pray for the soul of the departed monarch, Oba Okunade Sijuade Olubishe II, peace in the town, and more importantly, for God's guidance in the choice of a successor.
We pray that the Lord himself will guide us, even we guide the kingmakers in choosing another person that will be able to step into that shoe, even that can even surpass him.
God will choose another king for us that will make this and the environment happy.
We pray that whoever that they're going to choose will benefit the people of Ife, and God will grant him long life and prosperity.
While expressing their grief, they all eulogize the departed Oni, describing him as a man of honor and great influence who has done his bit.
It was so shocking to me because it was unexpected. Baba to put this time around. So, and it was a great loss. But God knows the best.
Being the full life that is the best life. Man of honor.
I think he's a good man. Like, I was looking at some documentary that he has given his life to Christ before going, and I think that's the main thing.
God will grant them peace and endurance for the loss of
They also called on all Ife sons and daughters home and abroad to join hands for continued growth and development of Ife. From Columbus, Ohio, Adeyemi Omojola Fatoba, NTA News.
Sunday Olise drills 13 home-based players ahead of AFCON qualifier in Tanzania as the Tigers sharpen their claws for 2015 Afro Basket Championship. Let's join Fisayo Ogunfuyi for these and more on Sports Update.
Super Eagles head coach Sunday Olise took charge of his first training session of the nation's senior men's football team on Monday. Olise, who was joined on the drills by his Belgian assistant Jean-Francois Loscuto, trained with 13 home-based players.
We have to get everybody on ground to know exactly how optimistic we should be. But we're also realistic. We know that we have to get the train on track first. So gradually we're starting.
Reactions have continued to trail the 18-man list of the foreign-based professionals for the Super Eagles AFCON qualifier against Tanzania in September. Exciting UFA FC of Russia striker Sylvester Igbon, English Championship side Wolverhampton Wanderers goalkeeper Kalu Nora Ikeme, and Amka Prem of Red Arrows midfielder Izuma Uzochukwu are some of the new names in the team.
Let's give him benefit of doubt and let him learn on the job, and hopefully it won't be counterproductive learning on the job.
We need to be optimistic because we've seen some players that we knew they had talent and now they will be given the chance.
Nigeria's D Tigers will begin their search for their first Afro Basket Trophy in Tunisia on Wednesday as they clash
with Central African Republic in the 2015 championship. Other countries in Nigeria's group include host Tunisia and Uganda. Dende Soni reports from Ilorin that 12 players out of the 26 invitees have been picked to fly the country's flag.
Winning the championship now depends on their commitment and how they perform.
The team will be relying on Michael Abinije and Olusegun Lawal, who just joined Spanish giants Barcelona basketball team to deliver the goods in Tunis. With sports news updates, Fisayo Ogunfi, NTA.
With Team Nigeria a fine outing. Before a round of the bulletin, we peek into Wednesday's weather prospects in Nigeria and some world cities.